Okay. So this technology, Zoom, that we're on today was started in 2010. I've been using it since 2013 because I've been virtual. So a lot of times people will say, okay, how has my business changed or how has things changed? Well, my business has gotten busier. So when people say they got downtime, I'm like, what downtime? I do not have any downtime, and I like it that way. And a big part of what I do by being virtual is being able to show others how they can pivot with what they have right now. Excuse me. So the biggest part of what you bring to the table, whatever your businesses are, there are 20 different businesses on here, 20 or 21 different businesses doing all different sorts of things. So you have to put your mindset in not looking at necessarily what you did, but who you were while you were doing it. And I put it this way, I really come down to looking at blitzscaling, and that's something that I teach people to do because I am a business coach. I help people to build their business as well as nonprofits in really strategic planning. So blitzscaling is really taking off as quickly as you can when you start your business. So you've got that train of thought going with that and really maximize. Now, in the situation we're in, I really feel very, there we go, okay, that a lot of people really have closed down. They've closed down, no other choice. Some. But we're going to look at what avenues are there, per se, that you really can take advantage of. Now, what you have on your screen there, and this is interactive now. I will not be doing all the talking. So number one, I identify the challenges to your business. If I were to ask, say two of you, just volunteer, what's been the greatest challenge for you for Corona? Just speak up. Two people. Let me hear from you.
Out with the old, in with the new.
A specific challenge.
Hi,
Give me
this
a
is
specific
Christy.
challenge.
For me,
Hi, this is Christy. Not having actual face-to-face interaction because my clients I work with one-on-one.
Okay. Can Zoom allow you to do one-on-one?
It is, yes, and I have been doing it.
Okay. So is that really a challenge? I'm gonna press you. I'm gonna press you.
so Hillary support a Flair for Fudge. I also do interactions. I do a lot of events
Okay.
where there's like 100 or 200 people. And what I do is I actually sample my product so people get to try it. And
Okay.
now with Zoom, I now have to explain it. If they're interested, then there's an extra step of shipping some samples to them where before they would come to me, but not
Okay.
necessarily. I mean, it's just a way of changing around.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to talk about. Because first identify, but two of you have already identified. You're used to seeing people in person, okay? Well, right now you really can't. So what can you do otherwise? The second step, and we're going to talk about, because I've got some solutions. I've got a food company, actually in New York City, and I'll show you how she pivoted in the past 3 weeks. Number two, consider steps to address the challenge. That's the C. Number three, E, eliminate that with the options you have. We've got to be realistic here, okay? Some things we're used to doing the hands-on or the face-to-face or whatever, so we can't do that. But really, what will substitute? Because that's where we are right now. Part of reality in starting a business, and part of starting a business is doing your SWOT analysis, is looking at your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities and threats, and looking at any kind of, now we didn't know this was going to happen. When I went virtual 6 years ago, it was purely, be honest with you about the numbers. I wanted to go global because there are only 330 million in the US, but there's 7.2 billion in the world. I was going for the 7.2 billion. That's why I went global 6 years ago. But it's paid off because I've been before more people, because marketing is about numbers. But your SWOT is your weapon. That's your weapon for sustainability. And we're going to get into that. You talking about your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities and threats. Not only your personal one, but your business ones too. So using this form of ICE, you really need to freeze that challenge. Whatever that challenge is, by simply addressing it and seeing what we can come up with, okay? So as we say, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And by doing this SWOT analysis, it really is a determination of your personal and your business attributes that are available to you right now to grow and sustain your business. Now let's talk about some of your strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Who wants to give me their first strength? Name a strength. Tell your name and what's your strength.
Can I talk?
Yeah.
Okay, so my strengths will be, I am bilingual, I'm from Venezuela, and I do business globally too.
Okay.
And I know a little about import-export and other markets.
Okay.
But right now, if I can go further or actually.
Okay. Let's go with that. Let's go with that.
Okay.
Bilingual, done global. So you've got that expertise with that. So back again and looking at not only what you have done and what you do, let's look at describing who you are, who you be. You are not only a translator, you're a global expert. You're a specialist in import. You're a specialist in export. Those are other titles that are titles, not necessarily saying what you do. Now, I'm a business coach. No, let me back it up. I'm a strategic thinker. I'm a thought analyst. I am driven. I am focused. I can be a business coach, which I am. I can be a speaker, which I am. I can teach classes, which I do. I can be a trainer, which I do. So that's how I want all of you to start thinking about. Think about who you are as a person, because who you are as a person has made you that business owner. And by looking at the talents you have, just because you may not be able to do what you were doing before, ask yourself, okay, what can I use my talent capabilities that I have right now to do something else? That's the process that we're going to go through with that. And in light of who I hear, Fudge, was it another food business on here too? Vegan Chef?
Yes.
Was it Vegan Chef? Okay. All of you in the food business, let me tell you 2 examples of working with clients in the past 3 weeks of pivoting. New York City, somebody was in Long Island, but here, New York City, Manhattan, had pizza cupcakes. They were used to really selling them in food courts and all of that. If I have questions, Carla, will you monitor the chat if there's any questions and tell me what they are? Okay.
Yes, I'm on it.
Okay, great. So she had pizza cupcakes. Big corporate clients, Facebook, Apple, or whatever, did their events, was there and so forth. Even had to contract with the new, I think it's Citi Field, there's a new baseball field when baseball was going to opening up. So of course she couldn't go to the food court, but she had a commercial kitchen. So I said, how many cupcakes do you have in inventory right now? 1,800 to 2,000. Okay, that was 3.5 weeks ago. And I said, who are your current corporate clients that you've sold to? She named Facebook and Apple and whatever. I said, call your clients up. Clients right now, or corporations right now, want to do things for their business, their employees. Everybody's teleworking. So this is where you got to wrap your mind around. So your employees at home working, you got management who wants to do something for them. She made one phone call to a Facebook manager. That one Facebook manager made an order for 50 orders of 2 dozen cupcakes to be delivered to her employees. So see how she had to get out of her mindset and box with that? She still can go into a commercial kitchen and make more, but she had that in inventory, because the first thing you look at actually in a business, and all of you know that if you've been in business any amount of time, you're looking at what your income is versus your expenses. So my first week of doing this, which was the first week of March, salon owner in Baltimore, Maryland, downtown Baltimore, near the baseball field, high rent, hair salon, top notch. She was out of business, had to close down, forced to close down. What am I going to do? Well, first of all, ask your landlord to extend your lease or give you a forbearance for that month, which has been done. So in this situation, which is something we've never faced before, it's like first things first. How can I reduce my expenses? At the same time, keep my same income or some portion of it so I can really make do. Because versus looking at, okay, I've got this amount of money left, I can only keep my employees a certain amount of time or before I go broke. No, what can we do to really bring money in? Now, SBA loan is out there. The paycheck protection is out there. Do it. do it, apply for all that you can, but at the same time, be working with your business or thinking how your business can bring in money. Then that was one example. Now, what was your fudge? What was the name of your fudge company?
A flair for fudge.
A flair for fudge. How about this? Same scenario, sort of similar to the scenario, since they normally taste it or whatever, then have a virtual fudge party. Have individual people. You got to think with the party method. Mary Kay and all the home parties or whatever, people are celebrating. You get people still having birthdays, anniversaries or whatever. Get one of your clients to have a fudge party. Invite 5 or 6 of them to come online, and then they make orders for you to ship their fudge to them. And just like we're having a virtual coffee right here, have a virtual fudge party. Is that possible?
Of course, definitely.
It's so
Yeah.
funny because that's one of the things that Hillary and I talked about.
Okay, I mean, but this is how you think. Whatever
Carla.
situation you're in.
Carla, we need to make it happen now.
I say perfect. Now there was someone on there that was it addiction and whatever. I was trying to make notes. Who's like an addiction counselor?
That's Mark Cantor.
Okay.
I don't see them. I see their name still there.
Okay,
That's Julie and Mark.
so whatever expertise
here.
you have, you need to really put that on the market to sell to others. Now, I remember you saying that you get people involved with maybe rehabs or whatever. Well, they still need help right now. For the last 3 weeks, I have been Zooming into a women's shelter in Washington, D.C., where I live. I normally volunteer there. And the women had been in there, not only they were used to going out during the day, they can't. So I heard from the program director. So I've been Zooming in there every Monday, called Motivational Mondays, or actually Empowering Moments with Phoebe and her friends. And I actually tie into one of my global friends. So we go to different countries each week, Dubai, Nigeria, and whatever. But to tie in with that, they also need additional money. So I also then called up my corporate contacts. So corporate want to help. So they're now funding, giving additional dollars to this particular women's shelter. And unfortunately, we're not going to do it next week because one woman in there contracted the virus. So we had stopped that. But that was a way, number one, to give them empowerment at the same time for that corporations tied into and sponsored the actual Motivational Mondays. So you see, you've got to put things together. You got 20 people in here. You've got all different things. It's about collaboration. What can you do together? What can you do together? So moving forward, please ask me any questions. Don't just wait until I may stop. I'm moving, Carla. Can you move the slides?
No, because you're sharing your screen.
It's not letting me move. Oh, there we go. There we go. What are your strengths? What can you do with what you have? What are your challenges and what are your opportunities? Now, I as Carla would tell you, I'll put myself on the spot. I want to hear from each one of you on a suggestion. Ask me for a suggestion on your business. I've got some for you. I'll
Okay.
take as many as I can.
Can I ask you?
Sure can.
Okay. So my challenge right now is I've been doing what I do virtually, which is mentor-mentee training, standing up virtual mentoring initiatives.
Okay.
I have multiple contracts out.
Okay.
And I'm having, and also for a new pivoted model, which is our virtual flash mentoring series.
Okay.
And I'm having trouble closing the deal. I'm having trouble getting the contracts back from the clients.
Okay. Now these are new clients that you said you had contracts.
Yeah, everyone that I'm referring to right now is
Okay.
brand spanking new and have done due diligence on us. We've sent them contracts. I'm having trouble
Okay.
getting the contracts back.
Okay. Do you have a mentoring curriculum?
Yes.
Okay. That mentoring curriculum that you have, I want you to contact all the cities and counties around you. I want you to contact the Department of Social Services. because they have need right now, because probably, and I'm subject, probably most people who they had before in doing things or mentoring coming in, they are looking for some turnkey solutions. Now, I hear you saying that people you've talked to about the signed contracts, cities, states, municipalities are looking for help right now. Is that a possibility?
Absolutely. We
Go
are
ahead.
SAM certified and also
Okay.
willing to subcontract with an 8A company to do
Mhm.
government work. We consulted the chief diversity officer for the United States Air Force and more, but we have not. Yeah, I mean, we'd be very open also to subcontracting.
Yeah,
To the
and
to
go to
government.
them, and you really want to go to them what's called a threshold contract. Now, do you know what a threshold contract is?
I don't. By the way, I just want to say I'm hitting the space button and that unmutes you. And then when you let go, you go muted again. Use the space button.
I use the space button.
Anyone who wants to talk with Dr. Yvonne,
The key is the mic.
if you press your space button, it puts you, it unmutes you. When you let it go, you get muted again. It's just an easier way to communicate on Zoom.
But
So
not for,
that's
not for
something
you,
that will-
Yvonne.
Oh, okay. I thought it was me. Okay.
No, not for you.
No, what I'm saying is that there are threshold contracts, and a threshold contract for government, the state you in, the city you in, the county you in, the town you in. There are people called contract specialists who can normally pay you up to $25,000 on their credit card for that county, that state, that municipality. You make your pitch, you close the deal, you get paid. Look for opportunities where there's a need right now. There are needs in actually, when you talk about forests and whatever your expertise, whether it's drug addiction, whether it's in women's shelters, whether it's school. Now, I don't know if any of you on here are certified teachers or not, but any teachers who are not jumping on this opportunity, there is such a gap right now with schools. All schools, I know Collins told me about for his Nina's got classes. Everybody don't have classes every day. Some of these parents now are struggling with an outline or a blueprint or something that the teacher sent. And here it is now, the parents are, who's the guy was saying that you love your wife even more because you're 3 and 6 year old. It's a lot to be dealing with teleworking, kids, and trying to teach your kids. So if someone has a school curriculum that you can sell to a school that will be a supplement for what the teachers are doing, or even going online yourself at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., and 1 p.m. teaching classes. Now, I go back and said this to someone, and I think Colin knew, PBS, Public Broadcasting Service, do you not know they started doing school classes on television? So this is not the first time teaching has been virtual. So do all of you get what I'm getting at? Let me hear back from you. Is any of this making sense?
Good morning, Dr.
morning.
Yvonne. This is Glenn
Yeah.
speaking, and I'm in sunny Fort Lauderdale, if you couldn't tell. We're doing a lot of outreach with organizations, and next week we've secured, and we're not charging for this, a training session for teachers at Broward County schools
Okay.
on something called Microsoft Teams. Similar to Zoom, it's it's a different type of platform, but basically they're a Microsoft shop. And
Right.
at no charge, we're going to train, we don't know how many hundreds of teachers. And that, I think it's next Wednesday, because I simply reached out to the school saying, hey, we're doing this with other organizations. Can you take advantage? And
Yeah.
literally 2 months ago, they signed up for Microsoft, and they
Yes.
have no idea how to use this stuff.
Absolutely.
We'll do the same thing for Zoom. In fact,
Yes.
my colleague David mentioned we're doing something at 12 noon with the Deerfield Chamber on
Right.
all the different video applications. Why? Because most people don't know how to use it. And
They
if you're trying to
don't.
collaborate, it's just, it's a losing proposition. So we're just going out in the community saying, well, help train you.
Help train them, as well as ask for or tap into that. There's a pool of money out there. Now, the first week after Corona, I take some classes at Howard University, but 2 professors called me not only to teach their business class in business school, but to teach them how to do Zoom, how to put the video on. That I charge, not only charge, they paid me and would give you $100 an hour. Okay, right from my computer right here. Okay, so that's how you've got to think of. So you got Google Classrooms, you got a lot of things. So tap into, so right now, I want to give 2 minutes for all of you to just start thinking about, get off that lane you were in before. Right now, some of you can't do exactly what you were doing before, but what else can you do? Let me hear from somebody else. Give me a proposition. Tell me your situation. There is something that you can pivot to, but let's figure out how we can do it. As you're talking about, you may want to start in by going in, let us do some training for you and not get paid, but that can lead to other things. But you've got to tie it into to show them. Because let me tell you something, if you don't surmise this already, we will not go back to the old normal. There will be that old normal is out. We may have a semblance of it, but we're not be back to the old normal. So you're going to have to pivot. You're going to have to do things diligently. And the key thing too is that what you can find, because one particular thing that comes to mind, and I'm trying to remember some of the things all of you were doing, back again to wardrobe, and I see your picture there with the the mannequin behind you. If you're used to doing that, then people still need, there are people, or let's say arenas of industry, who still have to dress. And I mention this because a lot of times people have been saying, well, we're back to the Depression in the 1930s. This is so different because in the 1930s, no one had any money. Right now, a lot of people got money. You may not have any other people around, but there are people who have money. I go back to, for the fact, when you've got now still grocery stores still open, still delivery service, Amazon is working every day, hiring people and all of that. You have to think of those people who, number one, have the money to pay you. Number two, still need your services. Maybe you could deliver them into a different way. But that's the process you really have to go to. And it comes down to what you've got already. I keep emphasizing. I'm going to go to this next slide, of course, and similar your assets. And that simply means, and this is what I want you to do. I want you to take a piece of paper. Everybody pull out a sheet of paper right now. I want you to write down different capabilities. Like I heard from you, a bilingual speaker. You're a fashion designer. You're a fudge maker. Somebody's was a walk on fire. What are you? You're a champion of walking, whatever. Put a description to it. I want you to do that. I want you to put at least 2 things down on this sheet of paper right now. Take your time and do that. And then I want you to tell me what they are. And we're going to talk about how you can use what you have to pivot into something else. Other than maybe what you were doing, or maybe something similar to what you were doing, but then a little different. One of my clients in New York City, her business was home design with Afrocentric fashions and material, pillows and things like that. Guess what? She went to make masks 3.5 weeks ago. $22,000 in the past 3 weeks. She's now got a staff of 6 people, and she hired another business owner who she was a designer of purses that she sewed and had 5 sewing machines. All in New York City. So she's now got 7 people now working for her. Each person is making 150 masks per week. So she did that 22,000 nearly between her and her husband, because they got stay in place order with New York City. So with the other 5 people, she's probably going to be doing close to 100,000 in the next 6 to 7 weeks. So it's like you have to just, because it was a whole thing. I was working with her on her interior design or her home fashion business, but it's like, wait, this has happened. What do you have? She had reams of fabric in her apartment. We'll start sewing, or ship it to others. All of that. I see something in chat. Anything I need to, any questions? Anybody putting any questions in chat? Questions.
No, not for you. So I have a couple, 2 comments I want to make. The first one is, and she's not here right now. But a friend of mine from many years back, she and her family opened a hotel in Miami in December. And of course, right after this, you know, they were booked and they had a lot, they were gentrified area, lost all of their reservations. So what she did is just what you're talking about, Yvonne. She went to Department of Human Services. She said, look, I have a 15-bed, a 15-room facility. Let me transition it into a home, a shelter.
Money's right there.
She went from nothing to $30,000 a month. That contract. So do we have it to convert that quickly?
Not always,
but there are opportunities out there to do what you're talking
and not only some hotels here in DC, because I know one particular guy, he's IT, you put him down to 1 day a week, he works for hotels. Some hotels are renting out their rooms for business office space because some major businesses or whatever, they haven't gotten the corona cleaners in there yet. So they bring in the coronavirus cleaners, Mr. BioClean and all of that, the cleanup, so they know they're going into a clean office. So they'll do day space or monthly space or whatever. You've got car dealers that they're like taking a hit. Okay, you still can open your service area. Go pick up your customer. You see, the thing about it, and I'm gonna say that because I get so excited because it's right before your fingers. Any customer you've had before in the past 6 months, 12 months, or whatever, you need to call those clients and see what you can do with them. Car dealers now, because I bought a car 3 years ago, my dealer called or sent me something by email and saying that if I needed any service, oil change or whatever, and they recommended, because my car has been sitting for 6 weeks now, 5 weeks, whatever. I haven't driven. So it was saying they would come pick it up, give it a cleaning, and do an oil change tires or whatever else. I work with a dealership with a woman-owned dealer in Houston, Texas, and she was saying she's about to go out of business. First of all, call your manufacturer, see if you can get a relief in you making your monthly payments for your inventory you got on your lot. Get your service people in there and use whoever you can. Spread the money around. Don't have 1 or 2 people, but have people work 2 days a week or whatever. That's the way you really have to do, because what's happening now, you're having entrepreneurs. You got to really put your capital in as an entrepreneur, because it is about survival of the fittest, the quickest, and how you can maximize what you have already. Give me some other.
So we have time. We're coming up on our time.
Okay.
We have time for maybe one more question, and then if you want to wrap up.
Okay. Well, what assets are in the room? That's always the question. And I use this acronym BEST. Be your best. In this situation, the first thing you got to do is breathe, because this is the 5th week. The first 2 weeks, quite frankly, most people were paralyzed. It was like, what is happening? This is not true. This can't be happening, but it is. So the first thing is breathe. The E is you got to eat to get you some substance, because I heard people sleep. You got to sleep. You got to get some sleep there. And T, tackle the task. You've got to have a strategy of when people say, well, they're bored. Well, this is the way, you go into warp motion here now, because here I'm figuring out how I'm going to do my business. So you have a list of your tasks and assignments. And really, I just thank God I'm alive. I thank God I'm healthy. I thank God that I've got the business that I've got and I can help other people, because that's what my joy is. You're asking what things you bring into it. This PowerPoint will be sent out to those who Carla does get the information from. And I've got 13 3-minute videos on YouTube, all different business topics. So listen to those with that. And back, just wrapping it up. We are in a perilous time, but don't panic, don't worry. Just use what you've got. All of you have whatever you need to do the best you can. Now, what that best you can is, I don't know. I don't know where it's going to take you, but I know it can take you somewhere. But you have, just use it to get what you want. And I like Maya Angelou, is that we can do this. You got to like yourself, like what you do. That's why you got into this business. That's what you got into this business. And I just leave it. There's my information will be on here. I'm offering, and I do a 30-minute one-on-one directly with people, because that pizza cupcake, she booked a one-on-one with me for 30 minutes for $49.95. And it was like, oh, and now I hear back from her. She's moved on to her people at Apple now. So it's like they were all right before her. It was nothing new I told her. I just told her for some ideas of what to do. And that's what it ends up being. That is exactly what it ends up being. So I'm here for you. I'm here to answer your questions. And I want to be your catalyst to success. And I thank you for your time today. Thank you, Paula.
Thank you so much. I think, hold on, we have one more question that came in late from Michelle Harmon.
Okay.
She says that she owns a place for families to connect and create memories through fun activities and unique ice cream. What can I offer outside of the ice cream delivery? And she would like to provide the fun. Something about, she was thinking about activity boxes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you said that, because one of my clients who's a caterer, and of course, all her catering had canceled. What she did collaborate with, so that's why the collaboration comes in. You probably know, what's the, Jose, not Herrera's. He's a famous chef here in DC. He's got several restaurants.
Jose Andres.
Andres. He has closed all his restaurants down, and except 3, and now make them community kitchens or whatever. Even before the corona, that people could pay whatever they want to. She's now has connected to him and really helping with some of his deliveries and things like that for the meantime. Because meanwhile, her situation, she was working federal government. This business was part-time for 3 years, and she quit her job February 21st, 1 month before the corona. So now she does not have a federal government paycheck. Along with